Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
TedMisztela here.
Matty Morant.
eXp Realty is on the road.
Drive.
Realtors on the road. We're going to say this is episode 4. And it's been a while since we filmed because there's been so much crazy activity that we've been working on. We've been working on a bunch of deals.
It's the last day of February.
Last day of February. And we got to unpack some of the stuff that we went through since the last time that we joined you on the road here. So
when was our last time on the road? Do you remember?
Last time we were like end of summer.
I think it was, wasn't it? Was that the one that we had our investor client Rish on?
No, it wasn't Rish. I think we did one other episode after Rish, but
gotta go back and watch these. So should some of you.
Yeah, there's some good content there.
There is.
I guess there's a couple things that we'll probably talk about today. We'll talk about what's been going on in the real estate market in Nova Scotia, what to anticipate going forward, some market stats, some market trends. And we really want to dive into too, like what we've been doing with our business over the last 6 months. And one of our biggest focuses, biggest priorities was to take what we were doing for people and to try to make it the best user experience, client experience possible. And to do that, we tried to break it down to, what is every aspect of the real estate transaction and how we could provide the most help, guidance, and take away the most stress and make it easy, but also achieve some high results. So really we look at like, okay, if we can help people in one of these really large situations, like people on average, it's like 1, 2, 3 at most transactions throughout their life with a lot of financial and family and emotional riding on it. There's emotions that are high already, so if we can try to tamper those and make it a little less stressful, then we feel like we're doing our job. We really want to be able to help people take their next steps and do it in a way that's most advantageous for them. All right, so we protect the privacy of our clients to the highest degree, and whenever we talk about specific deals on this, we'll never name names, we'll never name addresses, all right, but we will refer to specific properties and the type of property and the situation, and from there we can let you understand some of the stuff that has to be done to get a successful real estate transaction from start to finish. And we'll just give you a little bit of background on where we're headed today, and what stage this we'll call them deals. We'll say what stage this deal is in, and take it from there. So, I think maybe the story starts
about a year ago.
Starts about a year ago. We switched our licenses over to eXp. It's been almost an official year now, and so far, even with focusing more on our deliverable and our fulfillment and the work that we're doing for people and trying to make that as best possible, that took a lot of the time and effort to streamline that and create the best processes. Also, once we had that nailed, we really wanted to tell people about it, because if we're doing this great thing and helping people, if nobody knows about it, then we can't help as many people.
Work hard and advertise.
I'd say that the biggest change was, we get a lot of business from referrals, and thank you for that. We're never busy for our past clients, our friends, our family's referrals. But our next step was to get into direct marketing, and our first go of it was with YouTube advertisements. We ended up connecting with an advertising agency, and this is the power of the internet. They're based out of Chicago, but it was an agent that was part of the eXp network, and he had a lovely little advertising program for realtors that worked quite successfully for us. And it was an investment on our part, but a very good investment. At the end of the day, when you take a look at how much was spent on advertising versus how much top line revenue that brought in for the business, we were seeing like a 5, 6, 7 to 1 return on any dollar spent. And to get a 500% return on anything, any stock, any bond, any real estate, it's very difficult to make your money increase that much over such a short span of time. It's probably one of the best returns you can get anywhere. So, we're sold on that now. A huge part of it was, learning what skills we have and how to use those skills to be able to transition from, hey, this is someone online who doesn't know too much about us, to, okay, these are the guys that are going to help me do this giant step in my life. And that's a spot where we were able to do a lot of studying, a lot of coaching of each other, a lot of practice,
A lot of reps.
a lot of repetitions. Like anything, we weren't as skilled at working these online leads and inquiries in the past. And like a lot of agents probably, got frustrated with it and decided, okay, this doesn't work. When really it's, one of the best sources of meeting people that need help. It's the way that advertising has evolved. It's
the way life's evolved, really. And I mean, you take people that are in our age category. I mean, we grew up with the internet, but we didn't grow up with the internet the way the people that are 20 years younger than us have. But if you do that 5-second pullback and you take a look at life, almost anybody out there would agree that a lot of what we do these days is done on the screen.
Yeah, everybody's glued to their screen so much, and that attention, if you can grab some of that attention, right, that's the ticket. And COVID has had such an effect on people. So many people have become these, not everyone, but a lot of people have become a lot more introverted. They prefer to stay home. They're not out socializing as much. So traditional networking opportunities aren't as plenty as they used to be.
Yep.
And the efficiency of the way video conferencing has changed the way that people do business, right? Today we're going on a lovely drive because we get to see one of the premier properties on the South Shore that we're working on the plan to take it to the market, either late spring, early summer. And you can't show much of it now because it's early, but when we do, watch this space because there'll be a beautiful oceanfront estate come to the market with a big EXP sign in front of it, which we're excited for.
Yep. Just a personal note on this appointment that we're heading to. For me, it feels quite proud. And Ted was describing jumping in with the new agency last year and getting our feet wet there. This is one of the first leads that came through from that new system. And it's just, a little bit more proof of how things work in this business. And for anybody that's out there seeing this, watching this, listening to this, and is curious, your journey, your plan, your path, it might actually start 12 or 18 months before you think it does, right? The idea of it's never too soon to get in touch and have a conversation, this is that example, right? And, when you get a chance to meet up beforehand, before the time has come, before the emotions set in and the stress, and then everything that comes inside of a real estate transaction, when you have some clear air, some time and space to be able to make some plans ahead of time, when you get to the starting line, it can kind of sometimes feel like this, and it's nice.
So, transition from there, that's sort of our story for the last year, but we ended up at least 13 transactions since the last time that we were on. And the goal that we set is how quickly can we get to 100 with our new brokerage as a goal. And now that we feel like we've streamlined and really put together a world-class service. We're going to start spending a lot more time screaming it from the hilltops. So there'll be a lot more, a lot more advertising, a lot more social media, and we're hoping that you guys enjoy following this journey that we're documenting. So the next piece is what is going on in real estate. Sort of like a general overview of the real estate market, what happened in 2024 that was significant, and what the outlook is going forward into the spring market of 2025. Now, there's one of the biggest influences right now was the fact that inflation has gotten into a range. There are other key components that they look at: strength in the labor market, GDP. When the Bank of Canada decides what to do with their overnight lending rate, which then filters down into your actual mortgage rate, they got inflation down to a spot where they felt confident making some interest rate cuts, and they weren't insignificant. So these rate drops, we first had it started off with a double, a 0.5 right away, Matt. Do you recall?
25s all the way through with
2 jumbos.
Hints of jumbos. And
there were 2 jumbos.
Jumbos came at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a couple little ones, and then we had 2 big ones, and then the last one was a small one again. So essentially, I think we got an effect of 1.5 to 1.75 off of the height of it, and the impact at the cash register when buying a house. It doesn't sound like a huge amount, 1%, 1.25%, but that means a dramatic increase in the buying power for everybody applying for a mortgage. So if they were capped out at like 500 before, and when we did some math on this, we looked at, okay, what does a average Nova Scotia make? What's the average salary? And it's hovering around 50,000 per person. If you had 2 people that were applying for the mortgage, they'd have 100,000. Assuming that they don't have any other debts, that would probably qualify them for, when interest rates were at the highest, 300 worth of mortgage. All right, 350. Now, with these interest rate drops, all right, that line's moved up significantly. And somebody making 100 now would be a little closer to 400, 425. Okay. Now, what that does is that brings all the homes, okay, where it was ultra competitive at every price point when interest rates were like at 1.5 during the pandemic, before the inflation kicked in. You had multiple offers on $1 million homes, let alone the 4s and the 500s. At the peak of the interest rates, there's this line at like 450, 500. Anything below that still had 5 or 6 offers, unless it was, dilapidated, falling down, huge issues. But now that number is starting to stretch up a little bit. And the way it's presented in the graphs is a little bit of a break from the seasonal trend in number of sales in the last 3 months and average closed price. So right now, more homes have sold in this time period than in the last 3 years. All right, from November, December, January, February, these 3-4 months, they've been more active, but also the average price of a home has broken out of a little range that it was in for the last 2.5 years. And, the starting point of where the spring market's going to kick off, which over the last, 15 years has always brought more sales and higher average close prices, that starting point is well above where it has been for the last 2 years. So all signs are pointing towards this spring market being the best for average close price that we've ever had. So that's something that people should keep in mind when they're making their plans. So the other big topic of conversation, concern, all right, that we're seeing around real estate is what's going to happen if we receive these broad 25% tariffs from Tariff Man Don. Don the Tariff Man. Don the Tariff Man. All right, so lots of different forecasts on that. Massive unemployment, GDP shrinking, buying power decreased, less competition for homes, more people that have to sell because they lost their jobs. So there's that side of it. There's another side that some people don't consider, all right, which will have the opposite effect, is that builders are slowing down on their building because they don't know how much it's going to cost to complete a project now. If there's tariffs on all this steel and aluminum coming across the border, the high rises that you see going up, creating all kinds of additional living space, those are being put on hold. All right. So on the side where there's going to be economic distress from everything costing more for the consumer, job layoffs because companies aren't doing well, you've got the other side where there's not going to be as much supply added. And we were already in, not historic, because our historic low inventory was in 2021, 2022, but we're down, 10 years ago, you would have had 10,000 homes on the market, right? At the bottom of the inventory levels, you had like 1,200 homes. You had 10%. Well, they're probably in the range, the full stampede onto the spring market hasn't started yet. There's probably 3,000 to 4,000 homes available in Nova Scotia, right? That's 30-40% of what the inventory is. I think, at 5,000-6,000, we enter into a really balanced market. There still is a separation of markets right now with a price point of around $650, where there are less buyers at those higher price points, and still tons of buyers getting into your first-time home buyer, stopping renting, getting your first place, et cetera, below $650, $600. That's still ultra competitive. So, combined with the lowered interest rates, and what we can still say is a lack of supply. I mean, just looking online, we were doing a search for someone last night, and Matt, what did that look like? You started putting a couple clients into the search and collab center.
Yeah, so we have a really neat little tool that we can set up for anyone that we're working with that's going to be doing some buying. Actually can work nice for sellers too. If a seller wants to know what's going on in their neighborhood, we can set up a search that'll hit them so that new stuff is on their radar right away. But for buyers, I put one of these custom searches together the other night. We were taking a look at 3-bedroom and more homes in Dartmouth. My circle on the map, I had to expand it a number of times, and I had to take a number of search filters out of the search in order to get to 11 properties.
So, so that's 11 properties under the price of what, $550?
I took the price filter out. All prices.
11 homes for sale in the area that he was searching in Dartmouth, and it wasn't a small area.
No.
That's like most of Cole Harbour, most of Colby.
I'd say it was like pretty much 90% of Dartmouth minus Eastern Passage area extended that way, and then going in towards Burnside, like near all Dartmouth.
So you should start to see that increase as the rush to catch what is the spring market. Weather-wise for us, it was the worst February that we've had in 3 years. Like the ice storms, the cold weather. We got spoiled the last two winters, but still, like, sales kept on reporting. Lovely condo that we had, got a lot of attention. Really nice semi-detached that we have, getting lots of attention. Beautiful property with rental income, getting lots of attention in Fairview. Still a ton of activity, even though it was treacherous just to go out and look at a house.
Look at the number of deals that we were working on through the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, and that was one of the key, when we said that this Christmas, this December, November, January were a lot busier than ever. Through that digital marketing, we created a lot of listings. Okay, and that's where we like to work. We like to to list properties, market them, show their unique aspects, create ultimate value for the best targeted potential buyer, right? To ensure, as much as possible for our buyer. And it's funny, sometimes we say as much as possible, and that means, as much money as possible. Sometimes as much as possible means they get to close it on the right dates for them based on what their move is going to look like. So sometimes the most successful real estate transaction isn't necessarily the highest price, it's the most favorable conditions on the offer. So that's something that you have to keep in mind as well. But, from where we were looking at things, we're like, okay, we've got 11 listings, 6 of them are under contract now, so that's cool. Those are going to close up in the fall, like in November, October, and then these other 4 or 5, let's just feel the people out. The traditional sentiment is like, okay, nobody's coming to look anymore. Let's take a little break, and we'll go back on in 3 months, in the spring market.
Yeah, when it used to snow earlier in the fall, somewhere around Halloween and Remembrance Day would be roughly when you'd sort of start thinking about putting the listings away and then coming back after the cold season.
So, we got to that point, and then it was only, out of those other 6, only 2 of them made sense to take off, because the other 4 were getting, weekly showings, 1 or 2. Also people sitting around in the background who had seen it that wanted to know, okay, are there any offers maybe we should offer?
Yeah, we went into a multiple offer situation in December 2 or 3 times on the same property, a gem of a property just outside of Wolfville. I mean, just completely the opposite activity that you would normally expect that time of year.
So that's why, we make plans, okay, and we set goals and expectations and timelines. These timelines, the most important part is what is the next step for the client, all right? And what, if they could snap their fingers and have their dream outcome, okay, what is that? And okay, well, let's go for that. That looks like, doing a little bit of a fix up and then putting it on in April. That looks like, okay, there's more work to be done here to get max dollar. Okay, maybe it's going to be in the end of May. We do like to try to stay away from July and August as much as we can, unless that's the timeline that people want to be on. There are a lot less buyers who like to pay a fair amount less, not as much as in the wintertime. The drop isn't as big then, but that is one of the slower parts of the summer, because people are doing their vacations. They feel like it's too late to move their family if they're not going to get in right before the new school year starts. They'll normally put their plans off to the next year if they don't find the perfect home in time to land where they want to go for the things that are important in their life. Yeah, so, with that being said, we felt that, firsthand, boots on the ground, we experienced that feeling. And then, second off, the charts and the graphs actually, reflected those exact same sentiments. So it wasn't just, our 5 or 6 deals we did and then our 4 or 5 that we kept on the market. It looked like that was a market-wide trend. Sometimes, what's going on in your own life can make you feel like that's what's going on everywhere. But, unless I see like raw data, facts, then, I try my hardest not to make assumptions just based on stuff that's going on in front of me, right? Because we know that we represent a small segment of the market, small but growing. So that sort of takes us to where we are, and, we're ramping up with all the people that didn't end up on the market last year who wanted to go, this year, making sure that we're online for putting the signs up where we need to put them up. In terms of, where we're at right now, other than new business, it looks like about 14 or 15 signs need to go up in the next 2 months. And, that's our opportunity to help 14 or 15 people take the next couple steps.
Yeah.
So from the work that we've done over this past year, a couple things couple things really have come together as ways that we can help very specific people, and it's the extra help that goes around a real estate transaction that involves someone that's downsizing. So it's the people that, have lived in the family home with the kids. Maybe they're empty nesters now. They don't need those 3,500 square feet in Glen Arbor. They don't need those 4,200 square feet in Kingswood, okay? They'd rather not look after 2 acres worth of landscaping and maybe slow down a little bit and get into a condo.
Shoveling snow,
breaking the ice up on the driveway. Yeah.
You don't have to do that when you have a heated parking spot in a beautiful condo parking lot in a building. Heated. No snow.
So just go from your warm condo to your warm underground parking.
Right.
Get in your car and go to your activities.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be terrible, huh?
Aye.
Yeah, speaking of breaking ice, man, my shoulders got a good workout there last weekend. Anyways.
Yep.
It was a lot. So with that though, it's like, you go through each step of the way, okay, you meet, and then, you go into a house and it's full with a lifetime of memories, right? We also went through this with an estate sale, all right? Right now we're in the process, we're going to streamline the whole thing so that it can be a one-stop shop. We go there, we consult, and we take you through all the steps, You've got to declutter. You've got to move a bunch of stuff into storage. You actually have to decide what stuff you're going to take with you and what stuff either needs to be sold, donated, or, not that we all have a ton of garbage in our house, but some stuff isn't good enough to sell or donate. So really getting rid of all the stuff that's not going to the next place. And then this serves 2 functions, right? This makes your move easier, and then it also is going to make your house look better when we take the photography, the videos, and we list it. Okay? Number 2, like after and as all this downsizing is going on, there are small things, like just little red flags, like if you have, paint touch-ups that need to be done, if your landscaping needs a touch-up, and, if we're dealing with people that are 70, 75, their kids are busy, right? They're still physically able, but, if you can have somebody come and just do everything for you and save you time, save you money, save you stress, save you energy, it's just this way we think we will help people.
But it's not just the helping and the being there with you and doing it with you. It's the fact that we've also done this multiple times and can tell you from experience that if you haven't been through something like this, it may not sound as difficult as it might feel, but there's, it's time, it's work, and it's delicate. A lot of times it's very, very delicate, we do this.
So, in terms of how do we, let's talk about the estate sale that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
So somebody passed away that had a house full of
memories.
Beautiful memories,
yeah.
Right?
A lifetime.
And, family members came, friends came, they took a couple mementos, but then there's this house full of stuff. And to be honest, the stuff was too nice to throw out. And, there's a combination of things that should be sold, should be donated. And we found an amazing company. A little shout out here to Wooden Rose Auctions, okay? They came through, they pointed at this, and this. So, essentially you take all the stuff that you're going to move away with, that you're going to keep, right? In this case, everything was going because it was an estate sale. Then once that's gone, they say, okay, all this stuff we're going to auction off for you. We're going to charge you a commission to do that. All this other stuff, we can charge you a fee, very reasonable, to take, either to donate, or if there was no usable life left in the items, to throw out. Okay, then that piece is gone. All right, the next piece is, all right, we've got some room to move, So we do the little touch-ups. We fix up the things that, potential buyers are going to ding you up for. Things that, are low cost but high impact. That's where our renovation company comes in. With the 4 or 5 full-time skilled tradespeople working for us, they're able to do that, and they're able to do it on time and at a below-market rate. Yeah. In this package, we include, there are credits to use with the renovation company to do that work, right? Obviously, there's a fee for it, but all these things, if you don't have to do them, it saves you the time and the effort, and you save money on them. No brainer. It's almost too good to say no to.
Well, what we've done is we've either brought in-house or we've arranged contact with every type of service provider that you would need to be able to do this type of a life change simply, easily, and have some fun.
Yeah,
while you're doing
and then,
it, right?
Next step there, we're downsized, all the stuff's gone that's going. All right, we keep the stuff that will eventually move to your place, and we use that for staging. Our staging consultant comes in. She does a bang-up job. All right, shout out to Avril. And from there, we're ready for professional media, photography, video, drone, all the top-notch editing that makes your property present the best way. And, then with that beautiful content, we can spin together a website dedicated to your property and then target the people that we want to play it for on YouTube, on Facebook, based on things they're searching for. Now, we've got that transition. Where are we going to go? We make sure that we lock up the property, do the property hunt, find the perfect spot, perfect timeline, or as close as we can for your life, get that locked up, get your house on the market. And depending, every situation is different. Sometimes it makes sense to sell first. Sometimes it makes sense to buy first. That'll come down to your own financial situation. That'll come down to your own timelines. But those are the things that every package is customized to the buyer's best case scenario. Remember, snap your fingers. What's perfect? Well, that's what we try to achieve. We're as close to perfect as we can. Obviously, there's all the professions. Partnered with a moving company that I gotta admit they're insured. They have some of the best rates in all of HRM. They handle moves up to an hour and a half away. They really, I can't say enough about the movers. And they'll come over and they'll do anything. They'll pack your boxes for you if you want to. So it's just an hourly rate and then a travel fee. But as you can see, as we go through every aspect of this, all right, we're not leaving any leaf unturned. Is that the same?
I like it. Yeah.
Can you think of how it's actually supposed to be? No leaf unturned?
No leaf unturned. Some people would say no stone unturned. We could
no
say
stone unturned.
No hammer, no nail head left.
No screw head left out? Okay.
I don't know. It's Friday morning.
It is Friday morning.
We're on the road.
Getting some caffeine in.
Yeah.
Have I missed our exit yet? Because I feel like I just drove past Bridgewater.
No, we're still good.
Okay, you've been paying attention to where we're going?
Ish.
Yeah.
One thing I'll just say, I'll throw this out there for anybody that is watching. Whether you're going to be a buyer or a seller, in the next little bit, you can get in touch anytime. We could flip over to you one of the sort of market analysis videos that we've put together. These a lot of times end up being put together for new clients during their client intake so that they can be as informed about the market as we are going into the thing that we're going to go into. But these are informative. These can really shine some light on what goes on outside of your door in terms of other people looking at other doors, right? And it matters if you're going to be a buyer or seller. These are nice little videos. They're about 5 minutes, but they're in depth, and it gives you a historic look and then a future sort of preview of what we see coming. Get in touch anytime, and we'll flip one over.
Yeah, the easiest way to reach us is in our bio. There's a link to our email. There's a link to a bunch of our different social media accounts, so you can reach us anywhere there. And again, it's never too early to start the conversation, and you know, it might start over a hot coffee or a cold beer, but however it does start, we're looking forward to meeting you guys in real life.
Yeah.
So that's Realtors on the Road, Volume 4. I got to do a little bit more of the hairy driving now, so we'll sign off.
That was good timing. See you guys. Thanks for watching.